Thank you, Honorable Breitenbach, Honorable Hall.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Ms. Quinana.
Good morning.
In the questionnaire, you, under the section about your motivation and why you're the right person to serve, you indicated that you believe it's your interest in the development of jurisprudence and the fact that you contribute to progressive legal interpretations that makes you a good candidate. Can you give us an example how you have contributed to progressive legal interpretations in as far as it turns on human rights issues in South Africa?
Yeah. The issue regarding the registration of customary marriages, that's one thing that for me is key. The fact that people go and get lobolo certificate, they celebrate in their in their home. It's both the parties, that is from the groom side and the bride, and that's where it ends. It's a serious concern. The fact that once the groom passes on, now we find this woman going to the master's office trying to get her benefits because she's entitled to them by virtue of the fact that she's married in terms of customary law. And she's turned away. She's told that, in fact, you need to go and register the marriage. Now, the issue is this. The Act says the fact that you have not registered the marriage does not mean that marriage is invalid. And we have Home Affairs that says that we won't register you. Go and get one party from the husband's side and one party from the woman's side. You do that, some will register. Some, you do that, they turn you away still. They say go to court.
Can I just pause you there? I understand the problem. What I'm interested in is how you, either as a judge or in performing your work as an attorney,
yes,
through a progressive legal interpretation, have fixed the issue.
Judgment. This is where I'm saying. This is where it is.
So
this is my judgment.
Have you issued a judgment in that
Yes,
regard?
I've got a judgment on this with regard, which says that Home Affairs is called upon. There must be uniformity with regard to where that is concerned. It can't be had that when I go to Mpumalanga, my marriage is registered. When I go to Polokwane, I'm turned away. I'm told, no, it cannot happen. So there has to be uniformity. And again, it's in the Act.
And
why
has that
can't we adhere?
been reported?
No, unfortunately, it hasn't been reported. But I'm hoping maybe after it has been seen by the powers that be, it can be elevated.
Would you agree that it touches on basic rights issues, constitutional issues? So ultimately, did you make a finding that any law is invalid? Will it be confirmed by the Constitutional Court as a consequence, or need to be?
It's already enshrined. It is there. It's in the Act. It's there. It says it, that the fact that it is not registered does not mean I don't have a right as a woman to be able to claim, But here we are. We've got the DGs of Home Affairs who just ignore you. Okay. Despite that, it is there, it is written. Okay. So I think as the Commission, these are some of those things that we can deal with to make sure that those rights are observed, because it's a right of a woman.
Thank you. I need to move on.
Yes, thank you.
You indicated that you are aware that there's focus areas. Would you agree that none of the current commissioners have a focus area that deals with gender equality and gender issues?
I did see that there's one who deals with women issues, yes, only.
Okay,
but maybe not.
Can you just, in terms of Chapter 9 of our Constitution,
yes,
what are all the human rights bodies we have in this country?
You want me to state all of them?
Yeah. The human rights bodies.
Well, we do have the Commission for Gender, what do you call it, the CGE? Yes. That's the one that comes to mind quickly.
Yeah. So that's the one I'm looking towards.
Okay.
So how do we, if we appoint you and you want to focus on gender issues,
yes,
how do we then justify the existence of the CGE?
Well,
Wouldn't there be an overlap with the budget constraints? How do we justify a human rights commissioner saying, I'm going to focus solely on gender issues if there's a whole commission for gender equality?
yeah, I hear you, but remember, the commission is there to make sure that all those departments and anyone else, their focus area is adhered to. So as a commissioner, you look at whether anyone else is doing that which they've been earmarked to do. So as in terms of the commission, ours is more about protecting the human rights, the culture of human rights. So it will be, for me, it is working together. It will be in collaboration. I don't see it as impeding on their duties. I actually see it as complementing them insofar as what they are doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mkhwebane.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, Ms. Kwinana.
Morning.
I'm good. I have only 5 minutes between me and you responding, so we will be short. Saula, I'll still go back there because that's your reference point. You dealt or you mentioned the issue of the gender-based violence. You're matching women abuse. In your definition, does it only include violence and killing?
No.
What about emotional abuse?
Emotional abuse, psychological abuse,
What have you
financial
done?
abuse.
Yes. What have you done as Saula to deal with all the women in the legal profession, because that's where you are, who are being abused emotionally and otherwise by the media in South Africa?
Yeah.
Have you issued any statement condemning that?
We actually did.
Which example?
We did recently when there was a talk with regard to the appointment of Advocate Kollega Gqelega and the fact what was said at Parliament.
That was the only time.
We actually did.
I'm saying that was the only time. Before then?
Before then,
because as a commissioner, I think what you were doing at Saula, you should continue to do, irrespective of who is involved or what the media is saying about that particular person.
no, before then, there must have been any other issue that we might have dealt with, maybe because I was not really responsible for the media statements. I might have missed it, but we have been, if you look
That's
at
why I'm
our...
saying maybe other examples, but yeah,
If
maybe
you look at
let's pass. I don't remember seeing them. I saw other
You missed
women
them.
being abused financially, or even Parliament exposing their financial records, but nothing was done by Saula in that particular aspect. So the other issue is your issue of dealing with the abuse of state resources, where you'd find that the issue of Hammanskraal.
Yeah.
As Saula, did you issue any statement, or were you very vocal about that, or any pro bono work which you did to make sure that you hold the department or responsible?
In fact, what we did as members of Saula, we provided water in those communities because remember there was a scarcity of water. We brought some sanitation towels. We brought the sanitizers as well. In us trying to assist.
I'll just budge in, but not in that way, which is good, but then in your field, because you are women lawyers.
Yes.
Yes, and that's the responsibility of government, and they are funded to do that. They are not doing their work. What I'm saying is, for you to do pro bono work, for you to even, if you are not taking it to court, take it to the public protector or to the Human Rights Commission.
Yes.
So that's the kind of intervention I'm just asking, did you do that?
No, we haven't done it, but in fact, what our president has decided to do is to form committees which will look at us being able to take on matters pro bono. You must understand, as Saula very much compromised. We depend on our own resources. So we are all in
But,
private practice,
yes,
most
you
of
don't
us.
need resources. I think it's for the benefit of those who are in Saula and even yourself. You don't need resources to lodge a complaint with the Private Protector. You don't need resources to lodge a complaint with the Gender Commission. I'm just saying
But
that's
remember-
what you can take forward.
Yeah,
or
but
even you don't
remember-
need resources to lodge a complaint with the Human Rights Commission.
But Mem Cohen, you must not forget this. Members of Saula, it's a voluntary organization, firstly. These are women that are in private practice, right? That steal from their own time. And as women, you know how marginalized we are. We are not getting work. Briefing patterns are still a problem. We don't have work like our
Okay,
male
Ms. Kwinana,
counterparts.
let's move,
So
let's
no,
move.
it's important for me to mention this to
No,
you.
no. Let's move.
It's
I
important.
understand.
You understand where I'm coming from?
No, I
So
understand, but
so
yes,
we are
can
able
we
to
not,
do that which we
Chairperson?
can do.
Sorry, let us not have.
No, I understand.
It's important for you to understand,
No, it's
because
pro bono.
you are talking from a premise where you would have had resources, but here we are. We don't have funds. I will use my
Kwinana,
own car
you
to
don't
go
need-
to Hammanskraal. I don't
No,
stay
you
in
don't
Hammanskraal.
you don't need money to lodge a complaint with the Private
But
Protector.
I must get the information from the ground, isn't it? I must go and engage
Which
the
you-
members of the
No,
community.
you can even call
And-
them, so you don't even have the resources to call them, or you don't have,
Call.
Hammanskraal. Call the communities,
Thank you.
or get the
Thank you
information.
very
So,
much.
that's that.
It's the 5 minutes is up.
Chairperson.
Yes. We started at 10:15.
No, I'm not, I'm just saying, Chairperson, I needed your protection. Okay,
Thank you very much.
all right.
Thank you very much. After Honorable Mkhwebane was Honorable Janji, and then Honorable Andrew Brown.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you, Yano, for the time you've given me. Thank you. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
When last did you act as a judge?
I'm currently doing pro bono for a week in the High Court.
No, I'm asking, when last did you act as a judge? Because the pro
Okay,
bono and
my
acting
last
is not.
my last thing ended on the 3rd of November
Which year?
this year.
Okay. Do you have any? Would you have any reserve judgments that you had before in your acting stint?
Yes.
And how long would that have been? How long did you reserve that judgment?
Well, we are, as acting judges, we are allowed only 3 months. So I make sure that I'm within that period.
So you kept it for how long?
Now, I always
3
finalize
months
before the
or
3
1
months.
month?
Beg your pardon?
3 months or 1 month?
Well, they would vary.
Okay. Any of your judges that were challenged? Your judgments that were challenged?
I actually do have a decision that was challenged, but I haven't seen the outcome.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's a bit slow, but I actually have a matter where it was an issue regarding a house of an elderly person who was coerced to sell her house, but being told that it's actually it's
fine.
just a financing project and so forth. Yeah.
That's fine. Let's pause there. The Section 181 of the Constitution deals with what we call establishment and governing principles for all the institutions supporting democracy. Can you share one of those principles?
obviously promoting human rights and the culture of human rights, the monitoring and assessment thereof,
Are you taking a guess?
and
Are you guessing?
no, I think I read it as such.
Can I just share two of those with you
Yeah.
quickly? Subsection 2 of that says, these institutions are independent and subject only to the Constitution and the law. And subsection 5 says, these institutions are accountable to the National Assembly and must report on their activities and their performance to the Assembly at least once a year. I want you to give me a distinction between these two, subsection 2 and subsection 5. What is different?
What is different about their reporting?
The one says they are accountable to the Constitution and the law,
Yeah.
and the other one says they are
Yes.
accountable to the National Assembly. Is there confusion there? One is subject to the law and the Constitution, then you are told you are accountable to the National Assembly. Can you
Well,
help us
the
to...
National Assembly is expected to still uphold the law and, of course, to observe the Constitution. So I would not see it as different because unless if we are saying now the National Assembly is not adhering to the principles of the law and the Constitution, but the Constitution is the supreme law of the country and it has to be observed.
Okay, thank you. My last point, Chair. Somebody comes to you from the city of Cape Town, an ordinary resident, and is complaining that he had applied for a march in the city of Cape Town. The march has been agreed to, but has not been allowed to go where she wanted to go, and therefore cries discrimination. How would you handle that?
Well, what I've seen, because we are applying for a march in City of Tshwane, they've got there are requirements, and one has to complete those, and one has to meet those. So, like in any other institution, one should expect that there will be rules and regulations, and one would have to adhere to same. And if one has adhered to same, surely should be able to then be given that.
In your view,
Right.
In your view, do you share that there is a discrimination?
But I do not know the reasons that have been advanced. What is imperative in this instance is for us to then find out what were the reasons
There are
that
certain
were
streets.
advanced.
There are certain streets that have not been allowed to march on.
I beg your pardon?
There are certain streets that they have not been allowed to march on.
So there are streets that we are not allowed to march on.
Yes.
And on what basis?
This is what I want you to help me with.
Yeah. Remember, in every process, there will obviously be steps to be followed in order to challenge a decision. So in the event a decision has, that is the first outcome, one will have to escalate that decision and see how to best challenge it. And ultimately, if it comes out that that decision cannot be...
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I'll leave a homework with you on Section 36 of the Constitution. The limitation of the rights.
Limitations of rights.
Thank you, Chair.
Ms. Kwinana, the time is up.
My time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.